and check it out. All right, so as you guys can see here, I have it hooked up to my 2021 F-150. As soon as I plugged it in, if you see in the corner here, the little charging logo, it is charging. So again, this is just like my other tools. When you plug it into the car, it's going to charge your scanner for you. So you can sit here with the car running, or if the car has a really good battery, you can sit there for a long time doing live data. So we'll do a quick walkthrough here. Obviously, auto scan brings you to auto scan. It's going to read the VIN. It's going to decode it. It's going to figure out what vehicle, year, make, model, engine, transmission, everything, in order to go into diagnosis. If you go into diagnosis, that's basically manual mode. You have to put in what year, make, model, what engine it has, and everything all manually. So for 95% of cars nowadays, you just press auto scan, it'll do everything by itself. But if you're scanning, for example, like a 04 Toyota, you might not have the automatic VIN number. So you're basically gonna have to type it in manually. And then OBD2 just goes in as regular OBD2. So we'll click here, I'll show you. This is basically the cheap, $20 little scanner you get from AutoZone or O'Reilly's. It basically just goes in as OBD2, only does engine, does not do anything else. This is just your basic OBD2. And as you can see, because I've never used this, updating the firmware. I just checked the updates, and it had more updates, so I just did that before I started this here. The cool thing about XTOOL is they release a lot of updates, so you can scan like my Ford today. In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it'll be another update for, supporting newer Fords. It's just like they release a lot of updates, and they don't just say free updates and then never update. They literally release a lot of updates, probably more updates than a lot of other tools I use. So obviously I'm not going to go into OBD2 because I want to see how many functions this has going in as a all system tool. So we'll go into that in a second. Then you have your special functions. So this is where you have those 30 special functions. So you have oil reset for when you have to reset after you do an oil change, you reset your miles before, or your percentage depending on the vehicle. You have your throttle adaptation when you install a throttle body to adapt that new throttle body. The BMS reset to program battery, especially on BMW, you got to program the battery to the vehicle. Electronic power steering adaptation when you do electric racks, it'll let you adapt the new rack. Some of them have to be coded and programmed, but this will do the ones that don't. Electronic parking brake. This is a big one because most brake jobs nowadays, most new vehicles have electronic parking brakes. So you're going to need to release that to put it into service mode in order for you to even perform a brake job at home. ABS bleeding. Some vehicles are just stubborn. You can't do the old school, have a guy in the car pumping the brakes. For example, some Chevy trucks only works if you bleed it through a scanner. So, or if you're by yourself, you can use this too. AC relearn to adapt to the AC. AdBlue reset, that's for diesels. AFR adaptation, that's your to reset your fuel trims. And your fuel adaptation pretty much, oh, I clicked that one by accident. The touchscreen is pretty responsive. Okay. It's pretty responsive. So let's see here. So where were we? AFR adaptation. You can do your cam sensor adaptation, your clutch adaptation for your transmission. That's not your clutch for your manual transmission. EGR relearn, diesel particulate filter regeneration. I keep clicking the screen because I'm trying to point. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, diesel particulate filter regeneration. So if you have a diesel, that'll work. Gas particulate filter regeneration. That's something that's recently been added to gas vehicles. So some of them have that now. Language change. You can change the language on a vehicle if you want. NOx reset. That's also for diesels. Power balance test is really good to have. Water pump actuations for those that have an electric water pump. So you can actuate that to see if they're pumping. In some vehicles, you can actually use that to bleed the cooling system after you've done a repair. Gearbox adaptation, suspension adaptation, injector coating. So after you replace an injector, you got to code it to the car. Not all vehicles, but again, BMW, all the fancier cars usually have to code. Headlight adaptation, seat calibration, initialization of the windows, transport mode, tire size reset. So if you have for example, my F-150, if I want to change the tire size, I don't want to, you want to let the car what the new tire size is, so you don't alter like shift points and stuff, because your vehicle is used to seeing certain data, and you basically change your tire size. You can basically switch up all that data, so the shift points might not be exactly where they were before and stuff. So you really want to tell your vehicle the new tire size. Your speedometer is going to be off if you put bigger tires on it. So by telling the vehicle the right tire size, everything is as normal as it was before. Rain and light sensor adaptation, ABS and ESP adaptation, start-stop reset, sunroof initialization, crank position sensor reset, TPMS reset for your tires, your tire sensor, and turbo relearn for the VGTs. So it does have a lot. I don't know if it has 30 or more, but we'll count here. So we got 3, let me see. 34. I counted 34, so it does have more functions than it says it does. So that's pretty cool that it has all that. Here you go into updates. Here you're gonna see everything that needs to be updated. I usually don't update vehicles that I don't have in my country, like these here. But if you want to update all you have to do is click the blue arrow next to each one, and it'll update that specific brand. If you want to see what's inside of that, you just click this little arrow down, and it tells you the functions that were added to that specific brand. Like, let's say if Ford was over here, it will say, we added 2025 Fords instead of stopping at 2024. So it'll give you what that update is about. So it shows here I have 30 updates, but obviously it's all vehicles I will never see. And then you have more over here. You can do your profile, your reports. So after each scan, you can save a report. So that's pretty cool. And then just your basic settings. You choose your Wi-Fi connection and stuff like that. Just your basic scanner stuff. So let's do an auto scan here. I don't want to make this video too long. Again, if you go into auto scan, it gives you both options, just like the main screen here. So we'll go into auto scan. This is not sped up. This is the actual speed that is connecting to my 2021 F-150. So that way you guys can see. So we brought up Ford USA, Europe, or Australia. So we're going to go Ford USA. You should pull up the VIN. It should connect to the vehicle automatically. There you go. That's my vehicle, my engine, my year, everything. Press OK. Okay, so this model is online. If you want the complete content, make sure you're near network. I am kind of near network. My Wi-Fi is on right here in the corner. So that's going to give you automatic scan, system selection, or trouble code description. Automatic scan, it's going to basically go in and read every module in your vehicle and give you any fault codes that are inside each module. System selection, if you're, let's say I'm chasing an ABS light on my truck, I don't need to scan the whole truck and take 2-3 minutes to scan it. I can just go into system selection, and from here go right into ABS. That makes me diagnose only the ABS module. So let's just select which module do you want to diagnose individually. So we'll do an automatic scan here. This is all live, not sped up. As you can see here, it's doing 6 out of 38 modules. So 8. I hope you guys can see this good. I'm sorry about the camera being shaky. So it's going to try and connect to a bunch of modules. Just because it says 38 does not mean I have 38 modules. It's going to try and connect to it. If it doesn't, then it just rules out as your vehicle is not equipped with that module, and it jumps to the next one. So that is the reason why it takes a little bit, is because if this was a fully loaded truck, it would have all 38 modules, and the tool just tries to connect to it, even whether you have it or not, just to see if you have it. So we'll see how long it'll take here. It's already almost halfway, so Shouldn't be too bad. Again, any scanner that's going to scan all modules, especially European vehicles, they have so many modules. Some I've seen on a BMW, it had almost 70 modules, and I was like, wow, that is insane. So obviously, the scanner is going to take a little while to scan because you just have so many modules. If I put this scanner on my 09 Tacoma, it probably would scan the whole thing, which is only like 15 modules. It would probably do it in less than 25 seconds probably. So it depends on the vehicle. Some vehicles are just slower to communication with the vehicle. So, but for the most part, this is on par with any other scanner I've ever used on a newer vehicle. It's, you know, decently fast. Tries to connect to a module, doesn't respond, or it does, it'll just go to the next one. So pretty standard speed. I thought this tool was going to be a little slower just because the A30M I'm running on my phone, and my phone is brand new. So, you know, the iPhone has, you know, top of the line processor, memory, and it's always been fast. So running an app on that is always going to be snappy because the iPhone's not slow. And this is probably running on an Android in the background. So, you know, the iPhone's always going to perform a little better because it's literally brand new and it just came out. But I'm actually surprised. It's actually doing pretty decent for what it is. And it's charging as I'm using it, so I can literally sit here for hours. My truck is idling right now, so one more module and it'll be done. It's reading 38 of 38, and then it'll give me a report pretty much. All right, so that just got done. You see everything that lights up orange has a fault code. Everything that's green is good to go. If I want a report, I can click DTC report, and it'll give me a whole report of every module, what's inside each module, and the modules that were green. So you can actually print this, you can save it, and then you can print it later and give it to a customer. If you want just a list of your fault codes, you click DTC list. It basically just gives you a list of all the codes that my truck has. So lost communication with the active air dam, I know that. Low beam, high beam, all this stuff I know I have. It's just LED conversions. So let's go into right here. You can go into the individual module. So we're going to go into powertrain control module. If you click on it, it's going to give you the option to go in it. Right here, you click read DTC. And it's going to give me the code. So lost communication with the air dam. I know that because it's not plugged in. So that's pretty cool. From here, you can clear it and go on about your all the modules, or if you want, you can just clear all. So if you just want to do a refresh and clear all the codes in this vehicle, you just press clear all and you'll clear everything. So I'm not going to do that because mine's just going to come back. My stuff is just unplugged. So seems pretty cool. I wish that this had live data under here, and it does. Let me see if another module does. My XT90 had the same issue where I went into engine and it didn't have live data. So see, this one has live data. So I think XTOOL needs to fix this, because every other scanner, I just did launch. I did a bunch of other scanners on the channel, and on my truck, it does have live data on the engine, and XTOOL is the only one that doesn't. So I'm going to contact them and see if they can fix that. But every other module seems to have live data. So if you go into live data right here, it's going to pull up pretty quick. Everything that I can see live data, I can basically just select what I want to see, and then basically just watch the live data and see what it does. As you can see here, it's actually displaying the live data here. But if I want to see just the one I selected, I just press custom, and then it basically just the ones I selected show up. So that's pretty cool. Let's go into another module quick. Instrument panel and see if there's live data there. There is. So click live data. I can, although the dark blue is all live data. So again, you can select the ones you want to see. So the engine is the only one that does not have live data. And my launch scanner both of the launch scanners that I just did, you go into engine and it does have it. So it's not anything with the truck, it's with the tool. So right as you exit, it's going to say save a report, press OK. And then when you go back into reports, it should be there. So as you can see there, forward and the date. So it's pretty cool little scanner. It's basic. It's for a starter or for just a quick scan. Honestly, my thoughts. Here's the conclusion, guys. Would I recommend this scanner? Sure, I would. But I think if you're going to spend $299, it's a matter of, do you want to use your phone or do you want a handheld? So if you want a handheld, this is definitely the way to go. If you don't mind using your phone, if you have a newer phone, I would recommend the 830M instead, just because it's basically half the price and it does pretty much the same thing. The extra 4 features that this has, the special functions, I don't think justify the extra $150. So if you're kind of on a budget and you don't mind using your phone, 100% the 830M, which I'll have a link for you guys to check it out and buy if you want to buy. But if you don't want to have to use your phone, or if you can't really use your phone at work and you want something that you can just grab and go and you don't have to worry about having, your phone on you, this is a good alternative. This is, like I said, it's $299 right now, but it does have its own screen. It's a handheld. It charges while you use it, and it has a little more features than the $159 one. So it's really what you want. In my case, I still prefer the 830M, just because I always have my phone on me. So a customer pulls up, I run to the box, I grab the Bluetooth dongle, and I run to their car, plug it in, pull out my phone out of my pocket, and I'm good to go. You could do the same with this, but you have to wait for this to boot up and stuff. I can literally open the app as I'm walking to the customer's car, and by the time I get there, everything's already open and ready to go. So that's just my preference. Everyone will have a different preference. So it doesn't take away from the scanner. It's an awesome scanner. But like I said, it's what you need. If you need a screen and you don't want to have to use your phone, this is a good starter scanner for you. And again, lifetime update, you can't beat it. So hopefully that helps somebody out there that's looking to buy one of these.